This is Eric Erb Live. You can find me online at ericherblive.net. Also on Twitter, twitter.com/The Eric Erb Show. Like, share, subscribe. If you like the podcast, folks, your donations are certainly and always welcome and appreciated. I have links down below. I'm on different decentralized platforms, minds.com, gab.com. There's a bunch of others also on rumble.com. BitChute as well. I'm all over. I'm migrating to decentralized platforms because due to the censoring and the deplatforming I've had on my other podcast with Anchor. That's Anchor.fm. I was with them for over a year, and they decided to just up and deplatform me and just take me down, take my podcast down. So I've learned through the hard way, unfortunately, that sometimes it is what it is dealing with these clowns and these a-holes. This is what you have to do. You just have to be vigilant in what you do and just keep your eyes on the prize and just stay focused. When, life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. When they throw shit at you, you just get a shovel and dig your way out. So, big tech is going to continue to do this, especially with Biden in the White House. This is how it is. So just get used to it, and we hang in there, we stay strong, and we hang together, and we'll get used to this. 2022 is not far away. That's when the midterm elections are, and let's get rid of some of these bastards in the Congress and get them the hell out of there, these liberal idiots. Okay, I want to talk to you today. It's from an article from naturalnews.com. It's naturalnews.com. The article is titled, Democrats Blame Trump for Inciting the Capitol Riot, but the pipe bombs were planted before January 6 proves otherwise. Very interesting. The fake news media, along with the Democratic allies and in Congress, are working overtime to convince Americans that the former President Donald Trump is no better than Benedict Arnold or any other American traitor. We've been told for weeks that Trump's speech January 6 to some 100,000 of his close friends and supporters is what led a small group of them to attack the Capitol building and riot. Only after a quick review, the former president's speech makes it crystal clear that he asked his supporters to peacefully, that's the key word, folks. President Trump had said peacefully, I've seen this video over and over many times, to make their voices heard as a joint session of Congress met to count the electoral votes, including from states where they were stolen and the outcome was rigged. But come to find out, the president's speech had nothing at all to do with the storming of the Capitol. In fact, new evidence has emerged that it was definitely pre-planned, meaning Trump had zero to do with it. Just like I said, this is how these people work, folks. This is how these people work. Everything's pre-planned. The Democratic agenda is pre-planned. This is what they go through. They go through this shit and they do this crap all the time. It's just that they were desperate, my friends, in order to get out President Trump. They couldn't stand Trump. The thought of Trump even being there and even being a president is a disgrace to the Democrats. They'll do anything. They lie, they cheat, they steal, they do anything whatsoever to get President Trump out. It's all fixed, we know, through the Dominion voting machines. It's all just a scam. The whole entire election was a scam. There are some states that were legitimate. I'm down here in Central Florida. The election down here, for the most part, was decent, and we didn't have any shenanigans. There are some good states that they had actually real good, solid elections, and there was no bullshit. But in the same token, there's states like Georgia. We know the scam, especially around the Atlanta area. Stacey Abrams and company, that's all I'll say about that. And then, of course, up there in Michigan, my former home state, I thank God I've been down Florida 18 years plus, but my former home state of Michigan, ran by the lunatic governor Gretchen Whitmer. And of course, she's in the pocket of the Democratic Party. She also has, and I'll get into that someday, a relationship, or has known and had a relationship as far as a business type of relationship of doing business with George Soros. And a lot of people don't know that. They're unaware of that in Michigan, unfortunately. Then Wisconsin, of course, and Pennsylvania. Then you had Arizona, Nevada. So you had a bunch of states in there, 5 or 6 states that were contested. The election was rigged right from the start. It always was, and it always has been, because the Democrats, again, wanted President Trump out of the friggin' White House so damn bad. Federal investigators have learned that the pipe bombs and other materials that were discovered at the offices of the Democrat and Republican national committees were put there a day before the riot, indicating that the disruptors, had every intention of doing what they did, regardless of what the president did or did not say. That should tell you. So basically, in law, this would be premeditated, pre-planned, premeditated. This would be a premeditated case. That's what that would be, because again, they thought about it, they acted on it, and they did it. They thought it out. It was premeditated. All of the other outlets, including fake news, the Washington Post had to report the development. 2 pipe bombs that were discovered on January 6th near the White House, near the U.S. Capitol. Shortly, the mob stormed the building and believed that they are planted the night before, according to law enforcement official familiar with the investigation, which video footage obtained by the Washington Post. The explosive devices that were placed blocks from one another at the headquarters of the Republican and Democratic National Committees have been largely overshadowed by the violent attempted insurrection of the Capitol building. But finding the person suspected planning both bombs remains a priority of the federal authorities, who last week boosted the reward tips to the person's arrest from $50,000 to $75,000. On January 5th, 8:13 p.m., a security camera captured a suspect carrying a backpack, according to a resident who reviewed the photo and provided the copy to the FBI. The Post continued. Again, folks, this stinks like the get-go. President Trump, I did on another podcast, President Trump will not or should not be found guilty anyway. For all of our Trump supporters out there, he will not be found guilty because they need a 2/3 majority vote in the Senate, which is about 67 votes to be exact. Okay, that's how the Constitution is in order to impeach somebody. Number one. Number two, doesn't look like that they're going to be able to get that. There might be about 5 or 6 Republicans that might go, looks like 5 anyway, that wants to hear the case, that might vote to try to impeach. But here we go, folks. We know Mitt Romney. He's a piece of crap. Again, if they have 50, the Senate's divided 50-50, okay? Give you a little explanation what's going on. Mitch McConnell was the majority leader for a long time. He's gone. He's the minority leader now. Now Chuck Schumer takes over. All they do is just swap. One's the majority leader for a few years, then the other is, and they just go back and forth. That's all they do. It's just the same nonsense and shenanigans for years and years and years. Now Chuck Schumer's the majority leader. It's a 50-50 split. And because they won 2 seats in Georgia, 2 Senate seats. So now it starts, the tie-breaking vote in the Senate would be Kamala Harris, the vice president now. So she would go down and she would cast her vote, of course, for the Democratic Party. That breaks all ties. Boom, that ends the tie, and that's what they do. So even at 51 votes, they still need to have 67 votes in the Senate in order to convict President Trump. And again, doesn't look like that's going to happen, and I very well doubt it. diehard supporters of President Trump showed up to the rally, Cowboy in Louisville, on the morning of January 5th. They found shopping malls, parking lots closed to cars. They assembled their 50 or so vehicles outside the Kohl's department store. This is what the Post reported in a separate story. Hundreds of miles away in Columbia, South Carolina, a mall designated as Rebel Point, Trump supporters gathered there from another caravan to Washington. Report continued, adding that a similar rallying point dubbed Minutemen was also planned in Springfield, Massachusetts. Be ready to fight. Congress needs to hear glass breaking, doors kicked in, said one social post identified by federal investigators. And indeed, they did show up ready for confrontation, which the obvious day of the riot, photos showed participants decked out the ballistic vest, helmets, and other protective equipment, indicating clearly they were headed to the nation's capital looking for trouble. And it doesn't matter whether they were Trump supporters. Attacking the Capitol was a pre-planned event. They had nothing to do with it at all with the former president, which makes the second impeachment trial even worse. And that's correct, folks. It's just a riot. It's just a scam. That's all that it is. This is bullshit, 100%. President Trump will not be impeached, okay? He will not be impeached. This is all just a scam. This is all just a big bunch of bullshit. Okay, let me know what you think, folks. Like, share, subscribe if you like the podcast. This is Eric Erb from Eric Erb Live. You can find me online at ericherblive.net. Also, twitter.com/The Eric Erb Show. Like, share, subscribe if you like this podcast, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and most importantly, stay close to your loved ones. This is Eric Erb Live. See ya. I'm out.